I'm probably going to get roasted for this, but I'd love for them to increase the annual fee. Hey guys, Sebastian from AskSebby. Today we're going to do a roundup of a bunch of different topics. As always, there's that chapters tool down below, so if you get bored of a topic you need to skip around, feel free to do that. Big favor from you guys is to give this a thumbs up to keep me out of algorithm pop-up jail, and if you are someone new here and you get that reference, then consider subscribing. About 60% of you who watch are not subscribed, and I'm still trying to hit 200k. The first story is a pretty substantial one, and it's a rumor about a change to the Bonvoy Brilliant. This is one of American Express's top cards, and it's technically the premier card for the Bonvoy program. Super quick backstory for people new to this, but back in the day, SPG was working with American Express and Chase was working with Marriott. Once SPG and Marriott merged, they pretty much had to figure out how to split the portfolio. American Express ended up getting the business cards and also the top of the line premier cards. Chase ended up getting the economy cards and the mid-level cards. The Bonvoy Brilliant is meant to be the successor to the Ritz-Carlton card, even though that kind of still exists, but it's grandfathered now and you can't directly apply for it. So this all sounds pretty good, but one of the big issues is that I don't think the Bonvoy Brilliant has had as much pickup as I would expect. The funny thing though is that the current card isn't really bad, it's just not exciting. $450 annual fee, which is pretty fine to me because that's kind of the going rate for premium cards, but you do get a $300 credit that you can use at Bonvoy properties that pretty much makes the effective annual fee $450 minus $300, so $150. For that effective $150, I would argue that you're getting four major things. First one is going to be Bonvoy Gold status, which might be useful or not useful if you already have something like the Platinum card. Number two is going to be pretty good multipliers for Bonvoy hotels. So if you stay there a lot, 6x back is nothing to really scoff at, especially because the points aren't too bad. It's not really like IHG points. Number three would be the good insurances from American Express, things like a return protection that you don't see on the gold or the green. Number four, and this is the more substantial one to me, you get a certificate every anniversary of you having the card, and you can use that certificate at properties for up to 50,000 points per night. So even if you ignore the first three benefits, you're effectively buying that certificate for $150, which isn't too bad because you're probably going to easily be able to use that for a place that maybe costs us $300, $400, $500, so you're kind of getting value there. For me, it's a way to get that expensive experience for a fraction of the price. American Express ended up sending out surveys to people asking them which benefits that they would like to see in this new card. First proposed change is an annual fee increase from $450 to $650, so increased by $200. Number two, the certificate can be used at properties up to 85,000 points instead of just 50,000. Number three, you get priority pass, and number four, you get 25 elite qualifying nights towards status. So these are not free nights you get every year. These are nights towards status. People always get super confused with this one. Five is that the Bonvoy credit now becomes a $25 per month dining credit that works at any US restaurant, so it totals the same $300. Six, you get an additional 85,000 point night, and you also get kind of a choice benefit, so something that you can pick from a list if you spend $50,000 in a calendar year on that card. Number seven is that you end up getting platinum status just by holding the card, which can be surprisingly good, and I'll explain in a second. Last one is that if you spend $75 on the card in a calendar year, you're going to get titanium. If you're looking at this and you're thinking, I hate this, I want to turn the clock back, then you're going to like today's sponsor. You there, are you someone looking for a guilt-free midnight snack and craving some childhood nostalgia? Because if yes, you're going to like the sponsor of today's video, Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon is reinventing cereal. They have tasty cereal that has 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs per serving. That's only 140 calories per serving, which sounds pretty good. Their variety pack comes in 4 different flavors. First up on the plate, we have cocoa, then we have some fruity, frosted, and finally wrapping it up, we have peanut butter. They also have some new flavors that I've been meaning to try, like maple waffle, blueberry, cinnamon, as well as cookies and cream. I'm happy that it's keto friendly, low carb, grain-free, gluten-free, as well as soy-free. I'm a huge fan of brands that stand behind their products. Magic Spoon is so confident that you'll like it that they have a 100% happiness guarantee. If you don't like it, then they're going to refund you, and it's no questions asked. If you want to check it out and you want to support the channel, go use the link down below and check out and use code AskSebby to get $5 off. My favorite flavor is a toss-up between fruity and frosted, kind of just like my jokes. These are proposed changes that might not even really happen, but I think it's still an interesting discussion because it shows you how competitive the cards have gotten. We're at this point where annual fees don't really matter as long as you get enough value from the card, and a lot of it revolves around value that is not being replicated with other cards. Put another way, how do you convince someone who already has the American Express Platinum, who already has gold status, to end up adding this additional card that costs maybe $500, $600? At the current moment, it's fine as a sock drawer card, as something that you have for that anniversary night. So what are my thoughts on this potential new card? The effective annual fee is now increasing from $150 to $350, so adding $200 on top. Number 2 is amazing to me because it means that you can actually use it at any of their properties, even the super top end ones. Priority Pass, I think, is one of those perks that you just have to have nowadays because all of these premium cards have it. And if you don't, then the person who only really wants to get one card doesn't really consider this one. So for me, I don't really consider this a perk because I have so many other cards that have Priority Pass, so it's not adding anything on top. The 25 Elite Qualifying Nights is interesting because on one hand, people probably don't care. The main point of having more nights is generally to hit Platinum status, but on the other hand, people might still be incentivized to hit 50 nights because you end up getting a choice benefit. The choice benefit relates to you accumulating 50 nights per year rather than just hitting Platinum status. The $300 Bonvoy credit becoming $25 per month dining credits, I think that's fine. I think some people will like it because it's easier to use because you eat out anyways. I think for some people it's going to be annoying because then it's another credit that they have to manage every month versus just one thing that they can use for their trip every year. The additional free night and also the choice benefit for spending 50,000 points is pretty interesting to me because I think it brings in a different crowd and it probably brings in some business owners that they previously weren't getting. Reminder that American Express makes most of their money from swipe fees, so when people use their card to spend money, and then they also split some of these profits with their partners. I probably add this to my must-haves for business owners if they end up doing this because it does make a lot of sense. Automatic Platinum seems pretty aggressive, but I think it is something that they need to do to make it competitive to the Aspire. So normally you need to stay 50 nights per year in order to get it. And I think there are going to be some business travelers who get pretty mad at this because now you're introducing this whole wave of platinum status people who previously didn't have it, meaning that upgrades are going to be a lot tougher. On the pro side of this though, if you are someone that travels abroad, then this should help a lot more of upgrades because not everyone has credit cards over there. And even then the cards over there don't give you status like this. This should be pretty helpful if you end up going to an aspirational destination like the Maldives where breakfast can be prohibitively expensive, or if you're someone doing kind of a workation. So for me, when I travel, I'm typically doing one day of fun stuff and then one day working in the lounge. So it's kind of a balancing act. Or I guess that's what I was doing in the before times. Titanium status for 75K in spend is probably going to piss off consultants as well, but I think this is a pretty exciting move because it means that you can now spend your way to top level status, which makes it pretty consistent with the rest of American Express. I talked about this on Friday's video, but if you look at something like Delta, you can actually spend your way up to Diamond. Titanium puts you pretty much at the top, and they still have their ambassador program for the big spenders who actually travel a lot. So for the people who stay 100 nights and spend $20,000 a year. One other fringe benefit of having Titanium is that you end up getting United Silver status. In case you're wondering, it's because they have a partnership, and it's not the greatest status. Silver is pretty mediocre, but it's still something, and it means that you can now leverage your statuses across different places. I'm probably going to get roasted for this, but I'd love for them to increase the annual fee. That way the card actually gets competitive. So one obvious question is whether Marriott is being short-term greedy and long-term stupid. I don't really think so because a lot of the consultants who have to travel don't really have a choice, and Bonvoy has the biggest footprint. I've had a bunch of people tell me that they'd rather stay at Hyatt, but it's not really a choice because it's not as convenient. Number 2 is that they end up diversifying their income streams a little bit, so they're getting more swipes, or I guess their cut of the swipes from the partnership. Number 3, which I think is the most important one in the long term, is that there's going to be a lot of people who dismiss the brand due to lack of upgrades who are now going to consider them. Let's be real, the chance of an upgrade and free breakfast doesn't cost them that much. We'll see what happens, and I think if you are someone who's excited for these benefits and you think they're going to do a big launch, then probably wait for that new card for that new intro bonus. On the flip side, if you're someone who is more cost focused and you want to lock in that lower annual fee, then it might make sense to apply now. If you are someone that wants to learn about this card or other American Express cards and you want to support the channel, we do have links on our website, AskSebby.com. Make sure they're competitive, but definitely helps the channel. And if you are new to American Express, check out Card Match to see if you have an increased elevated offer for the Platinum. Card Match blog post on our website as well, and link down below. Moving on, we have 5 lightning deals. If you're someone booking an American Airlines flight, you can use your Mastercard and get $50 off. You do need to book between August 23rd and September 30th and travel by March 15th, 2022. There's a ton of fine print here as well, so I'd recommend reading through at least some of it. Next, we have United partnering with Clear to give the first 10,000 Mileage Plus members $100 in United Travel Bank and 2 free months of Clear. So the funny thing is that this should stack on the Clear credit that you get from the Platinum and the Green card, so kind of a double dip. Next, we have Hilton's Power Up points promotion, so for someone traveling this fall between September 7th and December 31st, you can earn double points. If you're someone with an Amex Hilton card, then you're actually going to earn triple points. Kind of a random one, but if you're someone looking to buy Costco membership, then you can get $30 back by buying their Executive Gold. This is going to be through Google Play, and I think it makes a ton of sense. Last one is that the Rakuten sign-up offer has increased again, up to $30. So Rakuten is a cashback portal, meaning that you get extra cash back to make your purchases. Bonus is $30 or technically 3,000 American Express MR points for spending $30 in your first 90 days. Referral link and links to everything else that we talked about down below in the description box. The last one is going to be Mastercard discontinuing the requirement to have mag strips for their debit and credit cards starting in the future. So the target date for Europe is 2024, US 2027, and worldwide 2029. My read from this is that issuers can still offer it if they really want to, but it's no longer a requirement, and I don't think they will because they're trying to cut costs. Factor in that the manufacturers are probably going to just remove it as a SKU item because if not a lot of people ask for it, they don't really want to have them. I think it's going to change the game. Not change the game from a competitive landscape, but change how the game looks. So when we think about cards, we think about this. This side is important because it fits into the chip reader, so they're not going to change this. The thing though is that if they don't need a mag strip, so this part of it, then it can actually be a lot shorter. So instead of this, why can't the cards now be this? If you think about it, all you need to technically be able to do is to stick it into the reader and that's it. That's all this is. If I was a company like Citi that wanted to win market share, I'd probably use that in marketing. Same perks and now half the size. If you're someone who's an enterprising dropshipper or entrepreneur, then maybe you end up making a new wallet. So assuming you know the new cards are now going to look like this, why does the wallet have to be this big? Why can't it be half the size? My question for you guys is, what do you think about American Express potentially increasing fees? And if they were only adding some of these benefits, which ones would you want? For the Lightning deals, are you taking part in anything? Are you signing up for Clear? Or is it something that you're trying to avoid? Last one is, would you be a fan of using half cards or would that be too weird? Let me know and everyone else know in the comments down below. If you liked it, give the dog a thumbs up. It really helps them out. And if you know anyone else who might benefit, share this with them because it might help them out. But otherwise, hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time. The Return of the Prodigal Son. He was on my desk at the old place and just ended up unboxing him.